Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to this week's Goddess Energy Forecast. This is your girl, Abigail Mensah-Bonsu. And this week's energy, I'm so excited to just dive in with you and also share what kind of message will guide you through this week, and as well as end with a meditation that you can do throughout the week to get you into alignment. So let's talk about this week's energy. We just stepped out of the new moon in Cancer. We're still in retrograde season as well as eclipse season. So Mercury just joined the 4 planets that were already in retrograde. So now we have 5 planets in retrograde, but Venus should be popping out soon. So we shouldn't have 5 for so long, but it's good that Venus will be going direct soon, because Venus has to do with our material stuff, beauty, relationships, right? So it being in retrograde is really helping us to deal with stuff in those areas of our lives. So when it comes direct, I think things kind of cools down in those chapters, but it doesn't mean that the work is done, because we have Pluto in retrograde, and Pluto is really pushing us to work with our shadows, the things that are hidden deep within us that needs to be released, healed. What is coming through with this is that we have the opportunity to really do some serious, deep karmic release and healing. Even like lineage, ancestral, right? So Cancer is really pulling us to get into that that emotional place, that the emotional body. Okay. This was coming in, because the way that was coming in, I was like, there's more to this. There's so much more to this. So we're going beyond just the emotions that we express, and we're really centering our thoughts on our emotional body. This body here, this is what usually gets stagnant of all the old emotional pain, trauma, betrayal, anger, you name it, all those past stuff. Some are not even from your timeline, it might be generations, it might be past lives, but this is where it gets all stored up when it's not resolved. Well, guess what? With these retrogrades, with this eclipse season, with the new moon in Cancer, we're able to really bring our focus to this layer of our body. And I'm also getting a second layer. We're also, with Mercury retrograde, we're also bringing our awareness to the mental body as well. So let me talk a little bit about the different bodies. So we're all aware of this physical body, which is the most dense. It is, our physical manifestation. What you see is what I have manifested through spiritually, right? What you cannot see is what is inside. So we have the physical body. And then next to that, we go to the mental body, right? The mental body. I think it's the emotional body, actually. I want to say the emotional body. So next to, let's imagine there's another layer around you. Just imagine this layer around you, and that represents the emotional body. And so all our emotions that come through is pulled from that layer of our being. And then we go to the next layer, which is the mental body. So imagine another layer over the emotional body. And this is where everything, all our thought patterns, our beliefs, our programmings, this is where it's being drawn from. So the examples, and then the next layer, of course, is the spiritual body, which is the lightest, the one that is most closest to the divine light, right, is our spiritual realm, is the all-knowing. It is, when we take the aura photos, like, is part of that. It's like the energy that we're giving out. It's like the energy that we're giving out. I like that a lot, right? Because physically, this is me. Emotionally is how I'm feeling, right? And mentally our mental body is what I'm thinking, my thoughts, my mind. And then My spiritual body has to do higher self, my connection with the divine, my animal guides, my goddess mentors, right? So you go into that realm. So with the eclipse season, new moon in Cancer especially, and then having the summer solstice, we're bringing that fire that we need, right? To go into these two bodies. And this is a picture that they're showing me, my higher self is showing me, going into these two layers and literally cleaning. I'm seeing like wiping it clean of all those old emotions, old thought patterns, old paradigms, old trauma, old pain that you've stored in your body. So next time you hear someone say, oh, you must have stored this in your body, I want you to go beyond the physical body and start to analyze your mental body, your emotional body, and your spiritual body. We have four main bodies. And as you're walking around on this physical plane, people can physically see your physical body, right? But they can experience your mental and emotional and spiritual bodies. So what I'm getting is an awareness of the expansion of our reality of who we are. And we're not just physical, we also have these layers of us. I mean, our physicalness has layers. So you can only imagine these bodies, energetic bodies have layers as well. But the energies of Mercury retrograde, of the eclipse, of the new moon in Cancer, bringing in that water sign, it's really going, there's like this flush of divine waters coming in to just kind of cleanse these structures, these old beliefs, these emotions that no longer serve you, that are actually holding you back. And the summer solstice energy is like this fire booster that we get to really realign ourselves, to asking ourselves the real questions. Who am I? What am I? Where did I come from? Where am I going? What am I here to do? And when I'm done here, where am I going? What lights me up? What brings me joy? Where should I focus my energy? These are all important questions to ask yourself as you are crumbling the old system and building a new system. And it is okay. There's a memory. I think I was talking to someone, and this memory came in because she was talking about asking the question, who am I? And how does something like in this time that we're in, that everyone is transforming and changing, we find ourselves asking this question more than often. And the memory was with my teacher. I had a reading with my mentor at the time. It was my husband now, but back then he was my boyfriend. And we had a couples reading. And when it got to mine, she told him that one thing that he's going to experience me do is I'm going to be asking that question, who am I, a lot. And back then I was like, why do I have to be the one saying that? Like I didn't really like it because I couldn't really understand why. And when I was having this conversation with my friend recently, I realized it's because of how much I evolve. Every time I transform, every time I step into a new phase of who I am, every time I step into a new dimension of who I am, I have to reevaluate who I am. So I ask myself, who am I in this state? Moving from 3D to 5D. When you get to 5D, you're going to ask yourself that, who am I in 5D? Who am I as a fifth dimensional being? So it's the same thing that I'm kind of seeing happen now, where a lot of people are asking that question, who am I? What am I here to do? Where am I going? That's interesting that came in. And I think that's the work, that's where Mercury also come in. Mercury being the planet of communication. Mercury is also the planet of technology as well. But really, the voice, speaking, using your words, allowing your voice to get activated. That's why asking these questions are important. They are one of the most important questions you can ask in the evolution of your life. Who am I? What am I? What am I here to do? Where am I going? Who am I as a divine being? 5 questions, right? So Mercury is activating our voices, which means, and that's something that also came in my goddess circle, where I noticed that a lot of the women's voices were activating as they were speaking their truth. And the truth was coming from a place of what they had experienced emotionally. And from that experience of, in that emotional realm, coming to conclusion as to what their world should be, which is the mental body, right? So if you base your emotion on something that doesn't serve you, you're going to create a whole entire truth around it. You're going to create a whole emotion around it. You're going to create a whole thought pattern around it, whether it's true or not, whether it serves you or not. That's kind of like the how it flows, right? And so I'm seeing this image this week of us continuing to do that cleansing and releasing, almost like a purging of these mental and emotional bodies, a purging of beliefs that no longer serves you, a purging of programming systems that no longer serve you, a purging of beliefs that are not your truth, a purging of emotions that are old. And going back to the emotions, this is the other message that came through. You know, like the saying of forgive and forget. Forgive and forget. This came in, and I realized here's the thing, when you're going through the emotional body and these memories are coming through of how you were hurt or who hurt you or who caused you pain, who betrayed you, all of that. The only way for you, or before I go into that, you find yourself saying like, oh my gosh, how much longer am I going to keep holding on to this? And that's something I found myself doing, this weekend. I started contemplating on that. I'm releasing these emotional pain, betrayal, because it doesn't benefit me anymore. When I hold on to the anger, when I hold on to the grief, when I hold on to the loss, who is it hurting? It is hurting me and not that person. And so why do we go into forgiveness? Why do we strive to release these pain? It's so that we can set ourselves free from them. It has nothing to do with the other person. Now, if you're lucky, you're able to, connect with that person and kind of reconcile and forgive each other and move forward. But it doesn't always happen that way, right? So for those of you who are experiencing these emotions coming up, these painful past trauma, pain, abandonment, whatever is kind of stirring up your emotions. Again, Cancer being water sign, connecting to the emotional body here, right? So anything that is being stirred up, brought to the surface, remember this. In order for you to let it go, release it, and stop that cycle of always remembering and holding on to it, which creates more and more experiences like that. You need to face those emotions. You need to face those emotions. You need to face the water. You need to face the tsunami. I'm saying tsunami because it's Cancer energy. You need to face that tsunami head on. You can no longer close your eyes or try to put it aside and be like, I can't deal with this anymore, because you have the opportunity to stop the cycle right now. So you face it. Okay, there's grief coming up. Oh my gosh, this grief is coming up because this person treated me this way. Well, the reality of it is that I allowed that person to treat me that way. I did not use my voice to speak up. I did not create a healthy boundary. Whatever. I want you to be real with yourself. This is what happened. I'm facing my role in that. I see how they created that. And then after that, simply, I am done with these emotions. I am done holding on to it because it no longer serves me. This is the beautiful part. It's surrendering the pain, the grief to a higher power. This is where working with your higher self, your guides and guardians, the angels and archangels, the ascended master, working with source, working with the divine mother, especially the divine mother, comes in so important. So importantly, surrendering these heavy emotions, these heavy burdens that you've held on to for so long. Doesn't matter if it is yours or not yours. Surrendering that to a higher power. Let it go. And allowing the emotions to flow through you, which means that if you need to cry, you let those tears cry, because we know tears are very cleansing. If you need to go do some kickboxing, go do some kickboxing. If you need to go run to move the energy, that's the key. Move your body to help the energy move through you. Move your body. Go for a walk. Go for a run. Dance, or do like a shamanic shake, which is just listening to music and just shaking every part of your body. That feels really good. You allow the energy to just flow through you. Do this with each emotion that comes through. In terms of the mental body, as you're going through these emotions, you will also see the thoughts that are tied to the emotions, because they go hand in hand. And as these thoughts come up, as you're dealing with these emotions and surrendering and releasing them, you need to ask yourself this question: is this my truth or not? Does this feel good to me when I think about it, or does it not? I think you know what to do when it's not your truth. Surrender it to a higher power. And you can do this by just asking Mother Earth to take this burden, like just envisioning yourself holding all of these, the burdens. Like it can be like boxes or big bags of stuff, and you just lay it upon Mother Earth. Mother Earth, here you go. I have held on to this for so long. I have become a servant of these burdens, and I no longer want to be. I am setting myself free, and I am setting it upon you. Take it from me and help me release this once and for all. Help me heal and come back to self once and for all. Never looking back. It is what it is. I have learned my lesson. I have taken in the wisdom, but I am releasing everything else that no longer serves me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Simple, right? Again, I'm saying simple, but we know our words are very powerful. If anything, Mercury is teaching us how powerful our words can be. Our words are actually magic. Every single word you speak up has the ability to create a whole reality. That's why we say be careful of what you say. So that's kind of like the energy of this week, right? It just kind of like flowed through. Usually I kind of break it up really nicely, but let's leave it there. So this week there's a lot of work. We're all doing this, removing things from our emotional body as well as our mental bodies, as we're working with the solstice energy, Cancer energy, which is the water emotion, and all the retrogrades going on, and Mercury retrograde, right? So we have 5 planets in retrograde: Venus, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, and then we have Mercury in there, right? I'm trying to see. There was something else coming in. One thing I wanted to say, so with the eclipses, we have lunar eclipses and we have solar eclipses. So solar eclipses bring in like opportunities for growth and expansion, shining your light brighter impact, right? But lunar eclipses has to do with spiritual work. So this is where you get to do your spiritual work, like connecting to your higher self, connecting to your soul group, connecting to your soul mission. Whatever work you need to do there, that is what the lunar eclipses will be working on. So I think we just had our first, our first eclipse, which was with the new moon, was that a lunar eclipse or solar eclipse? I think that was a solar eclipse, right? So you can really feel that, especially with the solstice, the power of the sun within you, allowing the light to shine, paying attention to the opportunities that are coming your way as you're doing your work, as you're releasing the things that are in your way, right? So that you can allow the opportunities to come in. The lunar eclipse takes you deep within and shows you who you are on a spiritual level, because you need to bridge those two. You need to find a way to bridge your physicality with your spirituality. You are flesh and blood human, as well as divine light and love and goddess energy. Like whoever you are spiritually, you are all of it bundled in this flesh that we're in. This is like the package that is housing everything. And you need to become aware of this union within you. Just like we've worked on the union between the divine masculine within us and the divine feminine within us, it's the same thing, working on the union between your physicality and your spirituality. Because when all of this ends, you return back to your spirituality. Your spiritual side, your spiritual body is eternal, is infinite, and it's always being expressed through your physical body. So if you're aware of that connection, you can only imagine what you can pull down from that level, bring it into the physical for it to be expressed and manifested out. This is powerful work right here. So I'm going to leave it there. But if you haven't yet, let's go ahead and dive into the messages that will be guiding you through this week. So this week I was guided to use, we're going to continue to use the Soul Truth Self-Awareness cards, because I feel like the questions that are coming in will really help you. If you contemplate or journal on it, it will really help you move through what you need to move through this week. But the other cards that we're using is the Keepers of Light Oracle deck. Really love this. I love both of the decks. So if you haven't yet, just go ahead and close your eyes, taking a deep breath in. Become aware of a beautiful golden light coming down from above, entering through your crown and entering through your head. When it reaches your heart, it kind of explodes out and creates this egg-shaped golden bubble around you. Allow the pillow of light to continue all the way down through you. And as it moves through you, see it filling every part of your body, cleansing whatever needs to be cleansed within your body, almost like detoxing in a way. Releasing you and blessing you. So allow that pillow of light to go all the way through you, out through your feet, let it enter into Mother Earth as it spreads out into roots. And let those roots go all the way down to Mother Earth. When you reach Mother Earth, you see this beautiful light pool. It's like a pool. It looks like a pool of water, but it's actually light in there. I should say light water. Because it is fluid, it's flowing. Allow your roots to go right into that sacred pool and begin to drink up that elixir from Mother Earth. And I'm seeing like this elixir is like mixed in with your own soul crystal. So at the bottom of this pool, you might see your soul crystal there. So mine is amethyst. I'm also seeing citrine there, golden citrine. But go ahead and allow your root to drink up this elixir. Bring it up through your roots, up through the bottom of your feet. Let it flush through your entire body. And let it come out of your head and just spill out like a fountain, just cleansing all layers of your bodies. Remember the mental, emotional, physical, and the spiritual layers of your body. Taking a deep breath in. And at this time, I'm going to call in your higher selves to come in, to come in within you. Just taking a deep breath in. And ask yourself this question: which of these cards, which of these messages are specifically for me? Once you've received the number 1, 2, or 3, go ahead and open your eyes and receive your message. We're going to dive right in. So the first card, if you were drawn to card number 1, the first card is Krishna, and it says devotion. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. And here is the message. So first of all, I want to, if you're not familiar with Krishna, he's a Hindu god, also known as Mahavatar, which means great avatar. And he embodies great wisdom. I love this. So here's the message. Here's his message for you if you're drawn to card number 1. You have a deep spiritual connection and must trust the guidance that's coming through. Your devotion to the spiritual path has been recognized. It may feel as if you've been on a mental, emotional battlefield. Remember what we were talking about? But there are sweet messages of hope around you now. Krishna is here to boost your sense of connection to the divine and encourage you to act from your soul. If a decision needs to be made, ask yourself what will honor your soul and those around you. If you can choose the best for all involved, then you will feel even closer to the divine. So if you're drawn to card number 1, the mentor that you're working with to do this mental, emotional body work is Krishna. And really what I saw when I was reading, the picture that came through is activating your higher emotional body and your higher mental body, which means that the parts, those 2 layers connected to connected to your higher selves, emotional and mental body. I want to say being upgraded to that level, if that makes any sense. And your soul truth, here's the question I want you to kind of contemplate on this week. Am I clear on what my soul really wants? How perfect is that? I can't make these up. Like these, how they kind of go hand in hand, these cards, If you're drawn to card number 1, you're doing a lot of soul work. You're really being connected to that spiritual body and pulling your spiritual wisdom into the other layers that are closer to the dense body, right? So the mental, emotional bodies, so that the truth, your higher truth, can be infused in all layers of your being. So asking yourself, am I clear on what my soul really wants? Take out the shoulds and limitations. Get out of your head and pay attention to your heart's desire instead. If you knew it was possible, if you knew it was impossible to fail, what would you do? Wherever you go, go with all your heart. So your soul action for this week, ask yourself, what is it that your soul really wants? And what does your soul crave? Then take one step in that direction. Beautiful. So if you're drawn to card number 1, again, your mentor is Krishna. And your soul question, I should say, is, am I clear on what my soul really wants? Is this what my heart wants to do? If you're drawn to card number 2, you're working with Mother Mary this week. And Mother Mary's energy is bringing in the frequency of love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. I think this card is such a gift to us this week. So here is the message. It is time to let go of conflict, all the need to be right. The more you fight for the point you want to prove, the unhappier you will be. Pointing out the mistakes and mishaps of others just blocks the road to love in your own life. So pointing out the mistakes or mishaps of others just blocks the road to love in your own life. Mary, the mother, the divine mother of acceptance, is with you now, encouraging you to forgive. Forgiveness is not about letting anyone get away with their bad choices, but about choosing to create your own happiness. This is important. Forgiveness is about um, choosing to create your own happiness. Mother Mary also brings healing to you and your mother. If you miss her, are out of contact with her, or have an old trauma that needs healing, know that Mary's miraculous light is here now to wash away the darkness. So I feel like this card really goes hand in hand with the working with the emotional body, and like the emotions that are coming up through the energy of grief, loss, betrayal, anger. Like she's really coming in. One thing that came up before I drew these cards is another. So this is for if you were drawn to card number 2. It might be anyone actually. If you're finding yourself like you're in the deepest of the darkness, like you can't seem to shake off this emotional stuff that is literally pulling you down into depression and hopelessness and like that deep emotional state where you can't catch your breath. Okay. A great emanation of the divine mother to work with is the Black Madonna. Is it the Black Madonna? Yes, the Black Madonna. And she always reminds me of, Mother Mary holding her baby, but it's like the dark skin version of it, but the dark Madonna really is able to help you in those darker, denser energies, right? She's able to come there with you and then actually pull you back up, if that makes any sense. So if you find yourself really having a hard time there, call on the dark Madonna. Again, it's another emanation of the Divine Mother, who's able to just go into the darker or the denser realm, or the realm where the energies are deeper and heavier, right? Where higher level, lighter beings will have a hard time going there. She's able to actually go there and pull you up. Yeah, powerful stuff there. So if you're drawn to card number 2, this is especially for you, but it could apply to anyone else. Now, your soul truth question is this for this week. What is the most limiting belief keeping me from what I want right now? What is the most limiting belief keeping me from what I want right now? What story are you telling yourself? When you think about your dreams, what is the first limiting thought that comes to your mind? If you are not living the life you desire, it's because a part of you doesn't believe it's possible. That's a hard truth, right? So I'm getting, if you're drawn to card number 2, your work is going to be really in that mental energy. There's the emotional, but there's a big one in the mental energy because your thoughts are actually blocking you at this time. Okay. So here's the message. It is time to upgrade. Look your belief in the eye. Where did it come from? What new belief are you ready to adopt in its place? And how will this change your results? Remember, your belief is the root of your result. Own it, heal it, upgrade it. I love this part a lot. Your belief is the root of your result. Own it, heal it, upgrade it. It's kind of like when I was sharing with the stuff that are coming up. Make sure that you go through it. You have to face it head on, right? And then just work with it layer by layer and surrender it. So own it, heal it, and upgrade it. Or it can be own it, release it, and upgrade it, right? Beautiful. So if you're drawn to card number 2, again, you're working with Mother Mary this week. You can also work with the Black Madonna if you're really experiencing the darker, the deeper, denser emotional energies. And then also working with that mental body and clearing out the beliefs, asking yourself, what is the most limiting belief keeping me from what I want right now, right? Okay. Now, if you're drawn to card number 3, I think when I saw this, I just like laughed, right? Because we're talking about Mercury retrograde, and look who shows up. Mercury himself. And he's bringing in the energy of open communication. He says, get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. So the way it's coming through here is that Mercury is actually amplifying your voice and showing you how freeing it can be to speak up, to share your truth, and know that it will be heard. He's supporting you in speaking your truth. So here's the message from Mercury. Open all levels of communication now. Ooh, immediately he goes right there with the activation of the voice. Open all levels of communication now. Important messages, information, and insights are being shared. You may hear from an old friend or family member, or have an opportunity to finally understand a loved one you've not had an easy time with. You may be able to clarify situations where you feel you weren't heard properly or were misunderstood. Get things off your chest in a loving way so that you can clear all the roads to love in your life. Listen too. Communication is a two-way street. Mercury is here now to allow you to hear clearly and be heard. I love that there's those two, because if you want someone to hear you, you need to be willing to also hear them back. That's the whole beauty about communication. It's not just you speaking and using your voice to kind of overpower someone. It's about you speaking from a place of authenticity and love and compassion, right? And then allowing that person also allowing yourself to hear that person also from that same place of love, authenticity and truth and compassion, right? It's both ways. So allowing yourself to really understand that. So if you're drawn to card number 3, you're really going to be opening. I think this card number 3 resonates most with me, because that's what I experienced, especially yesterday with my husband, where I was able to tell him something that was on my heart. It was really heavy on my heart. I was able to share it, and he was able to actually hear me out. And after that, I asked him what, like the same, how he received it. And I was able to reciprocate that same thing, hear him out. And there's nothing like being able to speak your truth and be heard and seen. It is so freeing and healing. And that brings me to my next point. If you don't have someone who can hold that space for you, then find people like that, because it is so healing. This is where, like, if someone did hurt you and you can't talk to that person directly, talking to someone else who can hold that space for you it's as powerful as talking to the real person, because you need to get it out. You need to get it out. So speaking it out, like, this is what happened to me. I'm expressing this. If you're able to talk to that person directly, great. If you're not, find someone who can hold that sacred space for you. This is what I'm here to do too. This is what I do for my clients. This is what I do for the women in my Moon Goddess circle. There's healing, deep healing in allowing someone to speak up or use their voice to speak their pain without you taking it in, or without the other person lashing it out on you, right? Because that's the difference there. If you're a receiver, make sure that you're not being lashed out at as if like you're the one who did it. Okay, remember, you just hold in that sacred space. This going back and forth, being heard and speaking up, can be so sacred if both of you do it from a higher perspective, which means that calling your higher self in, both of you, before you begin, and doing it from a higher perspective is so much healing. So here's your soul question. If you're drawn to card number 3, what if it was easy? This question, when I read it, I was like, what if it was easy? Now you can go to like detach where you're like, what if it was easy? And you can't really feel anything when you say that. Or you can really dive in when you're thinking about, speaking up, when you're thinking about sharing your truth with others. Your mind gets in the way and kind of makes it complicated, right? Well, thank goodness we have Mercury here mentoring us this week, right? And I'm a Virgo, so Mercury's my planet, so I work with Mercury all the bloody time. That's like part of my soul mission, about communication and speaking and sharing stories. And like, my voice is very important, my voice is very healing, my voice is very activating. A lot of my channelings come through my voice, right? So thank goodness we have Mercury there. What if what you're trying to say is easy? With Mercury working with you on the thought patterns and the beliefs and releasing the things that are creating all the misunderstandings, you can actually see the truth clearly, and you can speak that truth also with clarity and with confidence and with love, and people will receive those energy. One of my clients, she, from my moon goddess circle, she got that voice activation. I've been noticing her and how she's communicating. And she posted something on Facebook about what she's been going through and her experience with everything that is going on. And one thing, what I felt first was the energy coming from it. The topic was pretty intense, but the energy was very calming. I was able to read her entire post without being triggered or being, like, my feathers being ruffled up or being like, it was very calming. And so when I talked to her about it to say good job, and she was like, yeah, that's how I was feeling, and that was the intention I had behind it, that that people will feel that peace that I was feeling. And that's the message she was sending. So the importance, our words can be so important in expressing even our intention without us speaking up our intention. So pay attention to that. And actually, what if it was easy for you to express your truth? It doesn't have to be hard. Call in the universe, the stars, and the angels, and all their powers. Find the solution. Would you take the next step if it were easy? It's time to expect ease, call in grace, and receive divine guidance. You are supported. Here's your soul action for the week. List 10 possible ideals for your soul's current calling. Lean into ease. It's here. You just have to say yes to it. So again, list 10 possible ideals for your soul's current calling. Lean into ease. It's here. You just have to say yes to it. Thank you. Oh, powerful. I feel like, let's see here. Did I? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay. I wondered if I read the for card number 2, the soul truth message, and I did. So these are the messages for this week. Now let's go ahead and go into meditation. I'm just going to do something quick with this meditation. It's more going to be, we're going to be activating the clearing in the mental and the emotional body. We're going to be calling in. So actually go ahead and close your eyes, because I'm actually doing it right now. And I want you to repeat, if you want to receive this activation and healing, I open myself up to receive this or something better. Because again, we're working on higher levels here. I'm using the words, but it's my higher self, my divine self, and my goddess self doing the work here, right? So I am open to receiving this clearing and activation and healing for my highest good. For my highest good. All right. So now we're just go ahead and connect with your breath, and you might see what is going on, or you might have a sense, depending on what your soul gift or your what your gift is. You might hear it, you might sense it, you might see it. I want you to just be open to receive. Your higher self is right there with you, calling in all your divine team to come and be with you, so you can see the circle of support, divine support surrounding you. And I want you to bring into your awareness those layers of your body. So you, as a physical being, step in right there, and then the next layer being the mental body, what that looks like, and the emotional body next, and then you have the spiritual body, which is connected to all things divine, to the divine light itself. Now bring your awareness to the divine light and see it. Like I see like this ball of sun right above, just burning hot and bright. And I see like this light begin to pour down into all those layers. Again, going back to the beginning, I already initiated this. So see that golden light from the divine, the golden sun rays burning through all the layers. And I want you to pay attention to which layer of your bodies is absorbing more of the sun, where the action is at. You might see like more like this fieriness, like in the mental body, where everything is burning out, or not everything, but the things that need to go, like all the thought patterns. Now again, I want to make this very clear. You don't have to know what these thought patterns are, where they came from, or beliefs, or you don't need to know any of that, or even the emotions. Because again, you might be aware of these, the ones that are closer to the surface to you, but there might be ones that are more karmic, right? That are on that karmic wheel. It might be a past life then, or even lineage then, where the ancestors that came before you have been, like going through this, going way back. Again, you don't need to know the details. Just know that it no longer works for you, and you're ready to release it. That's all. Whatever it is that you're ready to release, go ahead and release it this time, and see that divine sun coming down to kind of clear and transform. I want to say transmute. Transmute. We're burning and transforming. To see the light, the hot sun coming to do some clearing. And all the layers of your body. And you notice that this is like it feels very gentle, it feels warming, it feels healing, it feels embracing, because this light is just divine light, pure divine light, and pure divine love. So it feels that way. At the same time, you can see like this beautiful divine water streaming through the middle of that divine light. So as the fires burn whatever needs to burn off, and clear and transmute whatever needs to be transmuted, you see the divine waters coming in to actually hold things down a little bit and nurture things. Getting like this nurturing. There's also, what am I looking for here? Like quenching the thirst. Bring in life. There we go. Bring in true life, or true. It's like a word. It's like I can see it, but it's kind of hard to find a physical word for it. I'm going to say is bringing life back to you. Just like water brings life to the land and allows things to grow, allows plants to grow. Just like all life needs water. That's kind of like what it's doing right now. As you're releasing the things and burning away the things that no longer serve you, that have been holding you down and blocking your way. You're also being nourished. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. You're being nourished at this time. So go ahead and just drink it up. You can feel it, like I can just feel it. These healing waters at this time, I'm seeing like pouring into your body. And I'm getting a cleansing going on here in the physical body here. So see these healing light waters running through every single part of your body, your vessels, your tendons, your muscles, your joints, your brain, eyes, all the organs, all the extremities. Let it wash away anything that is out of balance. Let it bring balance into your physical body. At this time, we're aligning all 7 power centers and also aligning it to the higher power center. So as above, so below. Bringing more light into your physical body. And I'm kind of seeing how light is flowing down. It's filling up your spiritual body and overflowing into your emotional body, which is overflowing into your mental body, which now overflows into your physical body. And from there, that overflow spreads out energetically to every human being that you come in contact with, blessing them with this process as well. Taking a deep breath in and out. And now we thank our higher self, our divine self, our divine posse, the divine mother and divine father for this beautiful healing release and nourishment. Thank you for this. And thank you for all things. It is done. It is done. It is done. So be it. And so it is. When you're ready, I want you to place your hands on your hearts and just feel the changes, the healing, the nourishment. What you just received, just feel it in the energy of gratitude. Like my heart feels like giddy, just really happy and giggly, almost like the inner child is very happy, I should say. I want you to really feel this within your heart. And my hands feel really warm and tingly on my heart. Activating the energies of love, faith, trust, and hope within your heart. Activating the energies of love, faith, trust, and hope within your hearts. Activating the energies of love, faith, trust, and hope within your hearts. Beautiful. It is done. It is done. It is done. When you're ready, open your eyes. All right, beloveds. I hope you enjoyed this week's messages. Let me know how it resonated with you. Let me know how the meditation felt for you, the visualization that I walked you through felt for you. Any aha moments, anything that came up, I would love to hear from you. And again, if you have any questions, send me a message, drop a comment here. I would love to hear from you in general. And thank you for receiving this week's Goddess Energy Forecast. Yeah. And until next time, again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and press that subscribe button as well as the bell next to it so that every time I post something, you will be notified immediately. You'll be one of the first ones to be notified. So until next time, have a beautiful week. And I just want you to know you are doing great. Even if sometimes you look around you and it feels like you haven't moved an inch in the direction you want to move to, I promise you, you have. Every single day that you wake up, every breath that you take, you are moving forward in the right direction. Trust yourself. Be gentle on yourself. Love yourself and honor yourself. Honor your path. Honor your voice. Speak up and be heard and feel the support. So much love to you. Bye.